My name is Mariana Yazbek. I work in an agricultural research institute. And we work on conservation of biodiversity. However, the struggle that I have been taking part of more recently has to do with a natural park that we have in Beirut, the city where I live. And there has been several trials to kind of appropriate that public space. Beirut is a small city with almost no green areas. There are like maybe 3 green areas in the whole city. We have a big lack of green areas. And this is one of the things that maybe you don't notice when you don't have children, but when you have children you notice that there's the big thing that's missing, particularly somebody like me that was born and grew in a rural area. I grew in a village, so I have always lived in a place where there's nature around me. But now that I live in Beirut, the feeling that there's a big lack of nature and green areas that's available for our children is something that we have been struggling with. So there's this big green area, Harsh Beirut, in the middle of the kind of at the edge of the city. And for various reasons it has been closed for a long time. But there was a movement that kept trying on opening the Hajj Beirut, and we actually succeeded. I mean, there was a lot of protests, a lot of legal issues, a lot of kind of negotiations with the municipality of the city, so we reached to a point where it was open for the public. But we could only enjoy that for maybe around 1 year, and then other issues came out, and then that park is closed. So this is part of the big thing that we are really struggling with now, is trying to have this one small green area available for our kids to kind of go out and enjoy and breathe whenever needed. Well, I mean, the whole struggle is unjust, simply. I mean, we have a lot of injustices that we are facing here, again, in the whole city. But I mean, to start with the definition of what is public and what is communal and what is private is something that we are trying to set within this struggle, and it's simply that you have a power that they decide, they put their hand on the resources and they shut us off. I mean, it's not a matter of 2 sides that are of equal power that are, you know, trying to negotiate something. You have one side that has all the power and another side that has the right, and we're trying to get access to what's our right. Growing up in a village, your relationship with nature is not something that you are brought up on. It's just something natural. It's just part of you. It's not even something that you speak about with your children or your family. But you just grow up knowing that you have this is your playground, you know, nature. But I would like to talk more about the principles that I'm trying to raise my children on, which is actually their right to have a playground, their right to nature, their right to a clean air, their right to a free, clean beach. And this is something, I mean, I have a child that's 9 years old. Sometimes it's too much to grasp. It's like, why don't we have a playground to play with? Why do we have to drive all the way to the south where we have a clean beach to swim in, which is an hour and a half away from here? Why can't we swim in Beirut? Because it's completely polluted for various reasons. So trying to raise your children on principles of their right to play, their right to resources, their right to public education, the right to public places, It's like kind of teaching them something that's virtual because of all the difficulty that we are facing now. I have been consistently involved in struggles that we haven't been succeeding with, but I hope that we're on the way to succeeding. This is really very difficult. It's a very tough question. I mean, it's not that I'm not an what do you call it, a pessimist, but it's just that. I mean, we're working. I think things are accumulating. We have been involved in several struggles, and they are becoming. I think what would give me hope is that recently, in the recent years, in the past 6 or 7 years, the incidences that are causing people to kind of go down to the streets and say, no, we oppose this, they are becoming closer and closer in time to each other, which is definitely giving an indicator that, I mean, there's something that's accumulating, and maybe in the near future we'll get somewhere. A simple, a good life would be a life in this country, which I'm really attached to, that would be able to keep my children here. I mean, this is for me, it's a main concern. So I hope that this country would be able to provide my children something that they would think it's worth staying here in this part of the world.